Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review. This movie is a horror film from Spain, Spanish language English subs, released in the year 2013, directed by Miguel Larrea, and this film is called After Party. So After Party is about this man. He is a superstar. He is part of this TV series that's very popular. All the girls love him and everyone wants to be him. So basically, there's a little bit of a scandal that puts his TV series in jeopardy. So he's a little bit stressed about this, and one of his friends suggests that they go to a party. Now this party is in a secluded mansion, all the girls are going to be there, so naturally he has to be there. So he goes there with his friend, they're doing a lot of sex, a lot of drugs, everything you'd expect from this lifestyle, and in the morning they wake up to discover that they've been locked inside this mansion. So they believe that this might be a prank, that one of their friends may have accidentally done this even, but then to their horror they realise that there is a sadistic killer inside this mansion that is picking them off one by one. So whether or not they can outlast this ordeal is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on After Party. To say that I was disappointed with this film is a massive understatement, because, being a Spanish horror film, Spain has delivered some really, classic horror films recently. So coming into this one, I thought to myself, alright, this is going to be a no-brain slasher film. At least it'll be enjoyable. So I wasn't in the mood to watch anything too complex, so this movie was definitely on my radar. So after watching it, I will say that this movie was it was terrible. This is a slasher movie that doesn't have any real slasher elements in it. It has characters that I absolutely despise. This main character was one of the most unbearable characters I have ever seen in a film. I wanted to see him die horribly in the very first minute, but to my horror, he doesn't die in the very first minute, and each minute that passes by in the film, I just thought it became more and more difficult to actually watch. Then you've got the supporting cast, you've got these women who are absolutely salivating over this guy, and it's so far over the top. It's an insult to the intelligence. I know it's a slasher film, I know it's supposed to be a superficial, entertaining film, but when you've got characters that are completely wiping away that entertainment, it becomes a real problem. And then you've got the slasher element in the film, and the slasher element really doesn't make up for it. There are no graphic kills in this film. This movie on the cover of the Australian release says 100% uncut. Now, I don't know what the cut version is like. Is that for a general audience, preschoolers? Because the uncut version just doesn't have any graphic kills. And in a slasher film, you want to see graphic kills. That's what made Friday the 13th such a successful franchise, and that's what made Halloween such a successful franchise. You've got a great villain, you've got great kills. You don't necessarily care about the characters, but at least you see something that is pure carnage. But this movie doesn't have that. It has a villain that is very forgettable. It does have a little bit of a twist at the end that I thought was okay, but it doesn't make up for the majority of this film, which is just an absolute exercise in frustration. This is a movie that doesn't really get to the guts and glory straight away. It actually gives you a little bit of time to know these characters that you don't want to know. And so I just wanted to hit them over the head with a sledgehammer. I wanted to kill them myself, is because these are so far over the top, it's so far out of the realms of possibility that you have absolutely no inkling, you had no curiosity as to what's going on. You just want to see them die. You're becoming very, very agitated, and you're becoming very impatient because the deaths just don't come soon enough. And it didn't save, I felt as though I needed saving. So this killer was going to work for me. I was going to hire this killer to absolutely dispatch them. But unfortunately, the killer does fail in order to create that satisfaction in what was just an absolute terrible experience. I mean, the cinematography is good. It's good to look at, as far as production is concerned, but it doesn't create any intensity. It doesn't create any suspense or anticipation, and it's not capped off by anything memorable as far as the killer is concerned. There are a few kills, but they are very tame, and there are also a few kills that are off-screen. So I just felt that Miguel Larrea wanted to make this film targeted towards a teenage audience, but even teenagers aren't going to like this film because there is not enough quality to warrant this as a slasher film. This is a movie that compares itself to Scream, and I think Wes Craven is going to be rolling over in his grave if he thinks that something like this, and this mediocre, is going to be compared to his work. And so I just think that's an insult to Scream, because this movie comes nowhere near it. It wants to be something, but unfortunately it basically fails in everything, because it doesn't have patience, and it didn't even make an attempt to make these characters somewhat likable. It didn't even make an attempt to make the villain interesting. What it is just a superficial film. And yes, I get it. In the movie world, and these superstars, they are very superficial, but for me, I just wanted to see them die straight away. I didn't care about anything, and I was just waiting for it to finish. So overall, as you can tell, this is not coming recommended, and I'm going to give After Party half a star. Don't bother, it's absolute rubbish. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.